What up, though, everybody? This is Alex again from the Real Mask Off podcast, one of the hosts with my good friend Austin Bacon Sr. here for another fire story. Fire story number cinco. I posed this out in this stories. It might be two. I'm not sure here, but I feel like I want to know from other first responders and maybe even and military people too. If this happens to you, or if you have these moments, and I'm going to tell you this call we get where it's probably again 2010ish, maybe a little before, a little after. And we get a call early on a Sunday morning where there is a call of a accident of some sort off Tireman, just east of Livernois. There's a bend in the road. I think if I'm getting this right, there's a bend in the road and there's train tracks at the time and some open land. So as we pull up, we see a SUV turned over, an older Bronco. We see two girls and a guy on a cell phone. And we pull up, and there's a girl laying on her back with her friend over her crying. And the young man's on the phone. The girl on the ground has a screwdriver impaled in her head, and the guy is on the phone saying, F these girls, you need to come get me. I left with these girls at some place. He was amped up and talking a lot of crap about the girls and stuff, and trying to get somebody to get him there. He was driving, and it was one of the girls' father's work trucks. So he's screaming on the phone, and we're down there by the girl. And then all of a sudden I hear, "I can see your booty. I can see your booty." And I rise up because I'm squatted down. And for that moment, the world seems to stand still. And now I take in everything that's like going on around me. When we first get there, he's so fixated on people first, victims or injured, or the people that need your attention the most. You kind of beeline for it sometimes, maybe not even realizing. It was this real warm, like misty summer, muggy morning. There was some fields around the train tracks, so the mist you could see it everywhere. The sun is just rising, a little bit above sunrise, or just as it's rising, I should say. And it feels like I'm almost outside of my body, and I'm standing there, and I notice that the girls are in just their bra and underwear, both of them, with tattered skin rashes all over them and tattered pieces of their clothes. They had a t-shirt and shorts or skirts on or something that, while ejected, were like ripped off them. It's not the only time I've seen where someone gets ejected and their clothes are ripped off. The guy seems to be fine. I start to look all around, and there's tools everywhere, all types of tools. That truck was definitely used by some sort of contractor or something. There was a ton of tools in the truck. And so as I'm scanning around, I start to see, the guy who said that there's sporadic, whether it's, drug addicts or homeless or alcoholics. There's about 3 or 4 of them, and they're all scrimmaging around and grabbing the tools up, all the power tools, anything that maybe could be worth money. And they're just grabbing handfuls. And I'm just looking, and it just seems like everything's just so crazy and surreal at this moment where this girl's obviously in need. And these people were there and around, and to scream that out, about seeing them, and then to go around taking the tools just seemed like just this weird out of body experience for a split second when I rose up and took everything in. During these times, there's other guys there. We're just one engine, so it's engineers probably with the truck, or maybe he's with the engine, or maybe he's helping out, and the Sarge is calling for police and EMS. They might, they take a second, but they end up getting there. And, we try to yell at the guys, chase them off. The other guy, before even the police or EMS gets there, a car comes and picks him up. We're not cops. We can't stop them. All we can do is, get a license plate and things like that. So that's what we did. And EMS took the young ladies away, and that's probably all I ever knew about it. Sometimes in Detroit back then, I don't know how it is now, we were separate from EMS. EMS was in the Boilermakers Union. They ran at our different houses, but they were so busy you never seen them. You might get some regulars at some good houses where you all know each other, but still, for that matter, they're so busy. They got a lot going on. But also, I'd like to say there's another time early on where it seemed like, I can remember it's probably the first time. It was one of my first car accidents in the winter off the freeway off 94, and a car had went up the embankment and slid sideways into a big concrete pillar of a bridge. So the car was just like crushed in there. And we pull up. They needed some help, squads there, state troopers, all that, everybody's there. But it turns out that there's 5 people that are in the car. Only one is alive in the back with he's like kind of crushed in, but he's alive. And in order to get him out, we kind of got to move some of the other ones one's like tangled up in between seats, almost down on the floor, which I remember nobody seeing at first, that victim. And then I needed to hold another body to the upper half. His legs were trapped in there, kind of on a board. And I remember, it's like this fresh snow again. Everything gets lit up more. You got a lot more steam and all that. And I remember just standing there. I had to hold him while they tried to get his legs undone so they can get the other people out. Plus, they're working on the other side of the car too, because the squad guys are just amazing when it comes to accidents and the tools and the knowledge. And they're really, really good. Can be really quick depending on the situation. The situation was a little tougher. Is you don't pronounce anybody gone there. You assume everybody's still alive and try to do your best. But, there's sometimes you kind of know. But I just felt like at that time too, as I'm standing there holding this top half of this guy, it's going on for about 30 minutes. All the steam has rose off him. I noticed almost came off like a last breath with the cold and everything. And I remember just thinking, looking at the guy in the back and looking at his eyes and seeing the other people in there. That was my first accident like that. I think that might even been my first accident. Because it was early on, within a couple months in the winter. So didn't even realize what I was getting myself into at that moment. But realized that there's going to be things here that you're going to see and that you're going to want to definitely be prepared for. And that was good about Detroit is everywhere you ran, or even if you were detailed somewhere, everybody wanted to train and keep that going because you knew that you can get put in these situations. But it does seem like sometimes the world stops for a split second. You're almost outside your body and you see everything 360 degrees. And then it's just sucked back in and you're like, whoa, this scene is crazy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of two stories in one here. I appreciate y'all. Keep checking us out on our podcast. And hit all the buttons, smash them all, like, subscribe, share. Check out my co-host, his stories that he has for you, and his motivational speaking, Mr. Austin Bacon Sr. And to the next time, y'all. Peace.